I'm Brad Churnside.
And I'm Corey Adams. We are the owners of R-Mech Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and this is our showpiece home, a 1927 Tudor with 18-inch rock wall foundation.
Let us take you inside where we'll show you the highest efficiency appliances possible. I'm Brad Churnside, and this is Corey Adams with R-Mech Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. We are Kansas City's #1 Angie's List contractor in heating and cooling category, also in plumbing, and also in the water heating division. And that's what we're here to talk about. First is our Rinnai tankless water heater. This is the Rinnai Ultra Series, 95 to 96% efficient RC98. How the Rinnai tankless water heater works: it has a flow sensor on the bottom of it for incoming water. As the incoming water goes through the flow sensor has magnets that are embedded in the impeller that spin. As the flow sensor spins, the magnets spin, communicate to the control board, the revolutions, which also are then monitored by an incoming thermometer that's monitoring the incoming water temperatures. From the thermistor, it's going to strike the first heat exchanger, which is a stainless steel condensing heat exchanger, where the exhaust gases pass. And that is why this is so efficient. It's taking the exhaust gases on the way out of the appliance, and the incoming water strikes this heat exchanger first. It then strikes our primary heat exchanger, and as it's leaving the tankless, it strikes another thermistor to monitor the outlet temperature. This is the control panel. We have this one set at 120. Rinnai will guarantee 118 as high as 122, so plus or minus 2 degrees. This has a modulating gas valve in it, and that's why it uses the flow sensor and the thermistors to get your high efficiency. And speaking of high efficiency, we'll send it on over to Corey to discuss the Rinnai hydronic furnace.
This is the Rinnai hydronic furnace. It is a flow-driven furnace. It has a coil in it similar to a radiator coil on a boiler, with a forced air fan from underneath to blow air into your normal plenum ductwork. What we do with this furnace is we take your old furnace out, we shove this furnace in, and you can still use the existing A coil for your air conditioner on top. This has a Taco 007 demand pump in it that is the industry-leading standard pump. This pump then in turn drives the flow of that water heater, causing the heat to be driven through the coil. This furnace only has 4 mechanical parts. It has the blower motor, the PC board, the pump, and then the physical coil itself. As water comes through here, it will drop in 35 degrees in temperature, putting heat into the house. The heat water 35 degrees difference versus the heat air that you use in supply return on air conditioning 70 degrees difference is how you gain your efficiencies. This is how we at R-Mech choose to condition water within a home. This is a Puronics water conditioner. How this works is water comes in through a solid brass head and is driven down through a bed of resin. The resin actually attracts the calcium magnesium that is associated with hard water that you find on your shower walls, your dishes, your faucets, so on and so forth. This head is actually electronically controlled and monitors the flow rate per the gallon. Depending on the hardness of water is determined by how many gallons of flow you receive before you have to recondition the resin bed. This is done through brine and or potassium in the brine tank here. This rinses the resin and reconstitutes the resin back to usage. Also, Puronics is the only water conditioner on the market that has a solid stainless steel tank and a solid brass head within their Terminator series. Also, they have the patented silver impregnated hygiene carbon. This is the same carbon that was developed for the NASA Space Shuttle program, because you cannot carry enough drinking water on a space shuttle. That they actually use this system and this carbon to recondition the water, the use recommended water, back into drinking quality. That being said, a lot of our customers find that by using this hygiene, that they do not have a necessary demand for a reverse osmosis system, because the water quality drinking is very high. This Puronics water conditioning system carries NSF, EPA, and Water Quality of America's Golden Seal Award due to the silver hygiene carbon.
We are now here with a Bosch 98% condensing boiler. Earlier we had talked about the Rinnai condensing tankless and the Rinnai hydronic furnace as a means to heat our showroom. Now we're going to discuss our primary means of heating our showroom, and that is through a radiant floor system. This boiler makes extremely efficient hot water that is piped through the floors of our showroom. Each room has its own thermostat, which is attached to the AZEL communication system, so it's not wasting energy just by always heating an area, nor making hot or cold spots in the house. So one room of the house, say the kitchen, can call for heat, and we'll just pipe water just to the kitchen to heat that area through the floor. This boiler is extremely efficient, as we discussed, 98% thermal efficiency. Also, we can pair in solar hot water to then pipe through our floors to heat our showroom for free. This is another way to heat your home, but it's also an air conditioner. This is the LG Art-Cool series of mini splits. Mini splits are starting to gain wide popularity in America, even though in the other parts of the world they've been used for 30 years. We are just now getting into that technology, much like the tankless water heaters and boilers and hydronics that we have already showed you previously. This unit is inverter driven, meaning it can speed up or slow down the compressor and the fan, so it can either blow extremely fast or it can blow very lightly, while the outside condenser portion can also ramp up or ramp down. Most of our air conditioners in America run at one speed, and that's high or it's off. With the LG series, we can run very low, so if it's 75 degrees outside, you just need to cool a little bit, or in heating season, it can also run low or ramp up. We have chosen LG not only because of its high quality, but because of the finish. Most mini splits in the industry are stark white, and many homeowners do not like a stark white head on their wall. So we have chosen the Art-Cool, which is a mirrored finish, to heat and cool. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. The system's outside unit has now started, while the inside unit has started. And as you can see, air is now coming through here, through this fin. This is its thermostat, but also its remote control. This unit, as you can see, is now running. You can't even hear it. So we can enjoy dinners at the showroom without interrupting conversation or any of our normal activities. We're now in the living room of our show house. We just left the other style mini split head. This is another head choice that you as a homeowner or business owner can choose to heat or cool a room. This actually transforms. The fins open up on the side, and this tilts down a little bit to heat or cool the room. This is just another selection of the type of head that LG brings to the table. Most manufacturers only have a white head hanging on the wall. So we have the silver one that was in the kitchen, and now we have a picture frame to heat or cool your living room. We are now in the second story of our show home, where we were downstairs showing you the Art-Cool series. We are now showing you the Art-Cool series in the second story. This unit is hung 10 feet in the air. And the reason why we did that, cold air drops. So as the cold air drops, many people have a hard time cooling their second stories in the summer or add-ons upstairs and attics. Each room has its own head. That way it's zoning. We have individual remote controls that are attached to the Art-Cool heads. That way you don't have to have the same temperature in each room of the house. Also, while the kids are away, you don't have to heat or cool their rooms. This little thing is actually a furnace. This is manufactured by Rinnai. This is an individual room furnace that we are featuring here. This is the same room that we were just looking at the Art-Cool mini split head mounted 10 feet into the loft of the bedroom. The advantages of the Rinnai direct vent furnace are if you have a cold room, a cold basement, you're adding on to your home and you don't want to tie into the existing ductwork of your home and damage the performance of the existing ductwork, we can add one of these furnaces in to heat that space. The advantages of the Rinnai direct vent furnace are the ease of install. We can install this unit in as fast as 4 hours and start heating that space. We just put them on an outside wall where an existing electrical outlet is. Then all we have to do is drill a small 3-inch hole through the house and run gas to it, and we can heat an area as large as 1,000 square feet, depending on the size. The Rinnai specifics and text about this are, just like the tankless water heater, this has a modulating gas valve. So it's not just going to use the same amount of gas each time. It has fuzzy logic built into the control board that's going to maximize efficiency. So the gas valve, when it's really cold, will let more gas come through. When it's not so cold outside, it knows this by a shorter run time. It'll run with much less use of gas. This, like newer furnaces, has the potential to have an electronically controlled motor, what they call an ECM motor. So this tiny little furnace has an ECM motor and a modulating gas valve, which is the industry leader. I'm going to go ahead and turn this unit on so you can hear how quiet that this unit operates, much like the decibels of our mini splits. This unit is now running. You can barely hear this device running. This is running with the fan and gas burner running, sitting right next to a bed. One of the advantages, again, of how we have featured the heating and cooling our home, this home has no ductwork. The mini splits transfer energy directly into the air, the same with the direct vent furnace. It pulls the coldest air off the floor and pulls it through. That way we'll get plus or minus 3 degrees from the top of our 14-foot vault all the way to the floor because of the way it's sucking the coldest air off the floor. Much like the mini splits are operating high because they're taking the hottest air and blowing the cold air for air conditioning. We showed you the Arc-Cool mini split head in the kitchen on the red backdrop wall. We showed you the picture frame that was cooling and heating the living room. And then we showed you the loft that was way upstairs and mounted 10 feet in the air. 3 heads can actually be connected to one unit. On this house we chose 3. We can hook up to 8 heads on one outside unit. So in our showroom we chose to only run 3 heads per unit, which aids in the capacity, but we can run 8. Just showing you how small this outside unit is, and this outside unit can heat and cool all those spaces using something this small. And the last thing we want to discuss in the R-Mech showroom is the fact that we do insulation. We're a heating and cooling company that focuses on the high efficiency appliances and plumbing fixtures like the tankless and boilers and the water treatment, but we also own an insulation company. With that being said, we can spray foam insulation like is featured here. We can blow cellulose. We can blow fiberglass insulation into your attic. But it doesn't do any good just to go in there and blow it. We have professionals that work with us that are HERS raters, BPI raters, that can come in and look at the house and identify where the money needs to be put to save the most amount of money in your appliances. We have the capabilities of taking a house at 80% infiltration rate and taking it all the way down to 30% infiltration rate just by the use of IR cameras, which is an infrared camera, and blower doors that we can determine where your house is leaking from, and then go back and put the money to seal where it's leaking and insulate to give you maximum payback.